Welcome back to another video with IDNTV. Already know, man, if you are new to the channel, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. We're getting right into it. Now we have an update on the FBG duck case. Well, really, it's called O Block. We have a case on O Block and all of the 4 defendants, including Muwop. Now we're jumping right in with Muwop. Now, he has officially spoke out since being locked up, and he's speaking from the cell. And he said this. Now, it looks like someone messaged him. I think in the feds, you can actually go back and forth and talk with people if they hit you up on social media, or I guess you pretty much need money to talk to people on social media. Now, of course, his name is Marcus Smart. It looks like this lady reached out. I guess she asked how he was doing. This is what Muwop said. Yeah, he said he was in great spirits and thanks for reaching out and things like that. He also said that he would be getting out soon. Now, I feel like everybody, man, that gets locked up, everybody I see on social media, it be people locked up for about 10, 15 years, and they be like, I'm coming home soon. So soon can mean anything. It can mean from tomorrow all the way to 2020, 80. So at the end of the day, hopefully, like you said, he's keeping his spirits out. I highly doubt that Muwop is getting out anytime soon, especially before this trial starts. Now, speaking of the trial, now they have been floating around recorded audio, and this audio is showing Los, also known as To the Streets, but the government uses him as Carlos Offering. Now during the actual recorded call, you can hear his lawyer speaking to the prosecutors and things like that. Now, long story long, I'm going to summarize it for you guys. Now, his lawyer is saying that Offering was not seen on camera. Of course, he is admitting that it's his car, but he wasn't involved in his actual hit on FBG duck. Now, this is when you hear the prosecutors. Now, the prosecutors are saying, you're lying because we have it on camera. We have you before the actual hit went down. We have you traveling to downtown to the Gold Coast area. We have you during the actual incident, and then we have you after going back to the dealership. Now, this dealership, everybody keeps talking about it. Now, the key thing with this dealership, it ties into a PPP loan. It ties into him lying to the government. Now, the federal prosecutors are saying that Los actually obtained a car. The only way to obtain a car when you're not paying cash is you have to have proof of employment and proof of history of like where you stay, and all of these pretty much you have to back up to say that you're going to pay them back. So long story short, they're saying that Los lied. Now, he lied initially and got the car. It looks like he took a picture when he got the car. You know, when you buy a car, you take the picture and things like that. So now, right after he got the car around July 28th, right after that, of course, the next week, FBG Duck passed away, and this is when he turned in the car. Now, mind you, he got the car and he said that he owned his own business. Now, when the dealership vetted him and verified that he does not have his own business, they told him to turn the car back in because he was lying. So now from July 28th to August 4th, he didn't turn in the car. Now, all of a sudden, they show him on camera turning the actual car into the dealership right after, I mean, an hour after this hit went down in downtown Gold Coast. And they're saying that Los admitted that that's him on the camera. I can't make this up. I must be hearing it wrong. I want you guys to actually hear this clip. Roll it.
The weight of the evidence against Mr. Offord specifically is substantial. So Mr. Offord purchased a vehicle that was used in this assault on or about July 28th from a dealership in the Chicagoland area. During a post-arrest interview, Mr. Offord acknowledged that there were pictures of him at the dealership and then next to the car that was used. And Mr. Offord identified himself in the photos, and the vehicle that was used as his vehicle. Mr. Offord acknowledged that it was his signature on the purchasing documents for the vehicle. And I'll come back to this part when we get to history and characteristics of Mr. Offord, but Mr. Offord made some statements in the financing application for that vehicle that were not true with respect to his employment. And so days later, the dealership reached out to Mr. Offord to return the vehicle, which ultimately he did on before using the vehicle in the and the assault of victims 1 and 2. So continuing on with the strength of the evidence, Mr. Offord acknowledged that there were still shots from a video that was taken. There was video that's relevant to this offensive charge on August 4th, before, after, during the murder. Before the Mr. Offord acknowledged again that it was him.
United States District Court for the Northern District of Illinois is now in session. The Honorable M. David Weissman presiding. Please be seated and come to order. Case number 21-CR-618, USA versus Carlos Offord, detention.
Good afternoon for the United States.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Jason Julian, Albert Berry III, and Anne Marie Ursini for the United States.
Good afternoon to all of you. For Mr. Alford.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. John Somerville, SOM, ERVILLE, for Mr. Offord.
Good afternoon, Mr. Somerville. Mr. Alford, are you on the line, sir?
Yes, sir.
Because of the CARES Act and the COVID pandemic, Congress has given courts authority to conduct these type of hearings, detention hearings, by video or telephone. In this case, would be by telephone, to limit exposure to the virus and to limit potential consequences of being transported in and out of a federal building and exposed to other individuals. Are you willing to proceed with this hearing by telephone, sir?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Somerville. Are you comfortable with the waiver of your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Julian, who from the government is going to handle the detention hearing?
It's a heinous crime. It's in count one, an assault with it in 2 counts of assault. When one person was Mr. Weekly, who set forth in the indictment. Victim 1 and victim 2 were also shot during the course of this. Mr. Weekly was fired at least 38 times in broad daylight, 4:26 p.m. on August 4th, standing in line outside of a business on Oak Street. Victim 1 and victim 2 were each also shot a number of times throughout the course of that assault. So the nature and circumstances of this offense, again, are a crime of violence, and crimes of violence in furtherance of a racketeering enterprise that's identified and described in the indictment as a racketeering enterprise that engages in acts of violence, including...
See, I told you, they said he actually admitted to verifying him on those actual pictures. So who knows what's going on with this case? Who knows if it's going to flip? Who knows what's going on? But it's very interesting, to say the least, with Los, man. I can't wait to hear the other defendants. And I like how his lawyer's trying to get him out on bond. But like I said, federal is I never, ever heard anyone getting out on federal bond. You got to think. I've been covering NBA Youngboy. I've been covering Kodak Black. They had federal cases. They have way more money than these guys. They're not getting out to fight their case on the outside. So there's no possible way these defendants can get out. I don't care who they are. I don't care what these people are saying on social media. These guys have to wait to find out they're sentencing, and then they're going to be packing. And now another thing, FBG Duck's mom, she's been very frequent on social media. And I want to say this. I'm not going to really dig down and say how I feel about her. After all due respect, you got to respect your elders. But she's going back and forth with a lot of people on social media. Now, she went to her Instagram and she posted this, saying that Mama Duck needs to get witness protection because she's in more stuff than Chicago itself. Now, like I said, I'm not going to say anything about her, but a lot of people are saying that she snitched. A lot of people are saying she was going too hard. But at the end of the day, federal is federal. I was seeing clips online, social media clips online, right after FBG Duck passed away. They were all through O Block. For almost a year, they were all through O Block. I mean, immediate, not even immediate, like maybe a day or two after, they were all through O Block. So they knew exactly who did what. It's just more so how they was going to prove it. So that's why they kept building this case, building this case, building this case. Instead of a state where they find out what happened and they go arrest them right away. Federal, they built the case. So if they're not going to catch these guys on the actual passing of FGB Duck, they're going to catch him on a PPP loan, or they're going to catch him on the RICO. They're going to definitely catch these guys, but what they're trying to do is make a big umbrella and just get all the charges. That way the lawyers or them can just be overwhelmed with the charges and plead out, and they get 95 conviction rates that they want. Now, thanks so much for getting to the end of the video, man. IDN, I will catch you on the next one. Make sure you like the video, use the timestamps, subscribe if you're new. I'll catch you in the comments. Signing out.